Sometimes life feels like you're trying to hold 1,000 fragile pieces together at once. You plan carefully. You calculate every move. You try to stay one step ahead, believing that if you just manage everything perfectly, you can avoid pain, failure, or disappointment. But here's the quiet truth. Control is mostly an illusion. The tighter we grip, the more life pushes back. Like water slipping through our fingers, the harder we grasp, the faster it escapes. Real peace doesn't begin when everything goes according to plan. It begins the moment we stop trying to force life into a shape it was never meant to take. In this video, we explore the freedom that comes when we finally let go, when we allow life to flow like water. A path guided not by fear, but by trust. Not by control, but by presence. In today's world, the pressure to control everything is relentless. We're taught to chase goals, predict outcomes, and always be in charge. We want certainty in our careers, stability in our relationships, and guarantees about the future. But life doesn't operate on contracts. One phone call can change everything. One unexpected shift can redirect an entire year. One chaotic moment can unravel the plan you worked so hard to build. And when our happiness depends on everything going exactly as expected, even the smallest detour can make us feel lost. From a Buddhist perspective, this struggle comes from attachment, a concept deeply explored by Gautama Buddha. Attachment is our habit of clinging to specific outcomes, rigid expectations, and fixed identities. We convince ourselves that things must unfold in a certain way. And when they don't, we suffer. The Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering, not because desire is wrong, but because clinging blinds us. When we become obsessed with how things should be, we miss the wisdom in how things are. Our need for control becomes resistance. Resistance to change, resistance to uncertainty, resistance to the unknown. But life has never been fully ours to command. It moves with its own rhythm, like a river with its own current. And the more we try to overpower that current, the more anxious and exhausted we become. Imagine standing in a flowing river, clenching your fists, trying to hold the water. No matter how hard you try, it slips away. Now imagine opening your hands, relaxing your body, letting the water pass freely. You're still in the river, but now you're in harmony with it. That's what letting go really means. It doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you give up. It means you stop fighting what already is. Sometimes what feels like losing control is actually being set free. In Taoist philosophy, there is a concept called Wu Wei, effortless action. It means living in alignment with the natural flow instead of constantly forcing outcomes. This wisdom echoes in Buddhist teachings as well. Act sincerely, but without attachment to results. Letting go doesn't mean becoming passive. It means taking action when needed, without desperation. Doing your part with clarity and then trusting life to respond in its own time. Ironically, the things we try to control the most, relationships, success, health, are the very things that require patience and trust. When we loosen our grip, we create space, and in that space, something softer and wiser can emerge. There's a story that illustrates this beautifully. A man once fell into a fast-moving river during a storm. Instead of panicking or fighting the current, he surrendered to it. He conserved his energy, stayed calm, and allowed the water to carry him. Eventually, the current guided him to the riverbank, where he climbed to safety. When people asked how he survived, he said, "I didn't resist the river. I became part of it." This is life. When we resist, we exhaust ourselves. When we soften, we discover a deeper strength, not the strength of control, but the strength of trust. So how do we begin to release this illusion of control? First, mindfulness. Mindfulness brings us back to the present moment instead of trapping us in future fears or past regrets. When plans fall apart, instead of reacting immediately, we pause. We breathe. We observe. We ask gently, "Can I accept this moment just for now?" Not because it's perfect, but because it's real. Second, acceptance. Acceptance is often misunderstood. It's not surrendering your dreams. It's facing reality without denial or bitterness. The Buddha taught that pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Suffering is the extra layer we add when we resist what cannot be changed. When we stop arguing with reality, we reclaim our peace. Third, flexibility. Flexibility is strength in motion. Like bamboo bending in the wind, we stay rooted in our values while adapting to change. Instead of saying, "This shouldn't be happening," we begin asking, "How can I move with this?" And suddenly, uncertainty feels less like a threat and more like possibility. In everyday life, this shift changes everything. We become less reactive in relationships, allowing others to be who they are. We become more resilient at work, doing our best without clinging to perfection. We learn to live with uncertainty, not in fear, but with curiosity. Peace stops being something we chase. It becomes something we practice. Letting go isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily softening. Some days it feels natural, other days it feels almost impossible. But every time we loosen our grip, even a little, we become lighter. We begin to understand that letting go is not about losing. It's about trusting that life, even in its unpredictability, still knows the way. So the next time chaos surrounds you, the next time something doesn't go as planned, gently remind yourself, you are not here to control the river. You are here to flow with it. Move with presence. Move with grace. Trust that life is unfolding exactly as it must. If this message touched your heart and you're walking your own path toward peace and inner strength, consider subscribing. Here, we explore wisdom that nourishes the spirit, step by step, breath by breath.